Guys, today is a sad day for us Omen of Light enjoyers because GGG just dropped the worst patch for our farm, and it says right here they fixed the Amanamu's Void monster modifier, dropping multiple additional omens instead of just one. So basically, what they're saying is that Amanamu's Void was dropping multiple omens if you were running things like Delirium or if you were running things like Wisps, and that was unintended. Now, I think that is a whole lot of BS because if it really was a bug, I feel like they probably would have fixed it a lot sooner than right now. Like, this has been going on for at least a month and a half, I would say, for most people's farm. And why did they wait until now to fix this bug? I'm really not sure, but either way, the Omen of Light farm has been massively nerfed. So basically, in the past, when you were running Delirium, you were able to get about 3 to 4 omens to drop at once, and all those omens could roll against your rarity and hopefully drop an Omen of Light. At least one of them would. But instead, now it is only dropping one omen, no matter what you do. Whether you use increased effectiveness, whether you use increased quantity, it is just dropping one omen. Now, there was a time that I ran a Wisp into a monster, and it looked like it might have dropped two, but I'm not really sure because it only happened once. I'll need to do more testing to really confirm what happened there. But either way, even if it was a Wisp to drop two, that is way worse than what we used to have. I think the drop rate has reduced about 3 to 4x if you were just running a normal Delirium setup without any other juicing. So that is what most people did. So it is pretty dang bad. Last night, I did a little bit of experimentation and I ran about 40 maps or so, and this is what I ended up with. I ended up with 3 Omens of Light and 11 Omens of Abyssal Echoes. That is really, really low. Now, the prices have gone up, right? Omens of Light were about, I think, 9 divs per before this change, and now they are 25. But that is not at all proportional to the drop rates that I've experienced and the rates that they are talking about here, where it only drops 1. Because it normally dropped 3 or 4, which means that we had gotten a reduction of about 3 to 4 times the amount of drops for most people. And this is not 3 to 4 times more expensive. So it has been a pretty dang massive nerf. Now, Omens of Abyssal Echoes are more expensive. They are about 3 divs. So we are getting a little bit of, I guess, I don't know, making it up with Omens of Abyssal Echoes being a little bit more expensive. But at the end of the day, it is still, in my opinion, from my testing, nowhere close to what it was before. So I'm not sure how good the farm is now and whether or not you can still make it as your main farming method. But I'm going to do some testing. Maybe there's a little bit more to it because now Delirium tablets are massively nerfed. They still benefit you, but they're way worse. So I'm going to go see if Delirium tablets are still the best or if there are other combinations that could make it better for everybody else and make it a worthwhile farm again. Because in kind of theory, if the omens are dropped by, in terms of drop rate, are dropping by 3 to 4x, the price should go up by 3 to 4x, but that isn't really the case. So we'll have to see. But either way, I want to talk about kind of my feelings and thoughts on this, which I know that everybody is really unhappy. Like, they are not happy about this, and rightfully so. This was kind of like out of nowhere, out of left field, and it really felt like GGG was being a little bit, not the most honest when they talk about they were fixing the drops of the void monsters, calling it like a bug instead of just a nerf. But I think this is a really weird timing to do this because typically GG doesn't do these big nerfs mid-league. And it was also just a like, hey, this is all we did. We didn't fix anything else. We didn't fix any of the other problems. All we did was nerf the Omens of Light. Now, to be fair, right? I 100% expected them to nerf these Omens of Light drops in 0.5. the rate at which they were dropping was definitely not natural. It definitely was not the way that they intended it to be, or rather, maybe it was intended, but it people juiced it too much to a point where like, oh, this is not right. We don't want people to drop this often. So I 100% expect them to nerf it, but to nerf it at this time, it was just a little bit of a weird approach, because I would say that right now players are not playing the game. People are leaving. So I think it's in their best interest to try to retain players by not nerfing things that people are having fun with. The other thing for me is that typically they don't do these nerfs mid-league like this, but all of a sudden they did. Now, I'm not going to say I think GG is terrible for doing this. Like, this is an early access at the end of the day. They should be nerfing things, buffing things, but it's not like they really have a history of doing this. So it's like, if this was a norm, I'm like, yeah, sure, GGG, you do your stuff, whatever. It was pretty powerful, pretty OP. It is what it is. You're going to go nerf it. But at the same time, because they're not typically doing this, it just came as a really weird decision on their end. And it wasn't just like, oh, they're nerfing drops across the board. They're just nerfing Omens of Light and not nerfing Temple, which is the main farm method in this league anyways. This was basically a secondary farm that people who didn't want to do Temple basically did. And now that they nerf this, pretty much the only way to farm now is Temple. And there are rituals, right? You can do rituals, but the ritual setup is much more complicated and a little bit more RNG in my opinion. So not many people really like doing that. So I'm not sure why they did this. Again, I'm going to go do some research, see if we can salvage this in any way, shape, or form. But it is looking pretty grim for us Omen of Light enjoyers out there. And all I can say is I'm not going to be surprised if a lot of people stop playing after this. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Are you happy about this change? Are you unhappy about this change? And what would you like to see coming forward? Do you want to see them revert this? Do you think they need to revert this before 0.5? Let me know down in the comment section below. And as per usual, if you enjoy this type of content, please remember to hit the subscribe button. It is the best way to support the channel, and let me know you want to see more of contents like this. And I also stream on twitch.tv/misoshiro every single night. So I'd love to see you guys there. But if you guys can't make it, that's fine. Hopefully I see y'all on the next video. All right, guys. Peace.